Howdy.
Hey everybody. So it's my turn. It's my turn to start. So something that's been on my mind lately is the story of Lot and his wife whenever they were told to leave Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were leaving and they were told not to look back. Don't look back, whatever you do. And as they're leaving the city, Lot's wife looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. And you know, the scriptures, I mean, there's really not a lot about that. They don't explain it. They don't give us any details. They just, I mean, it's like this little teeny tiny section that just gives us the information, gives us the story. And so, you know, I've thought about that so many times in my life, and I've heard talks given about it and everything about not looking back and what is it all about. You know, they talking about what was she thinking and just all of it. But it's really been on my mind lately because I've also just finished reading a book that it's called Don't Believe Everything You Think, I think is the name of it. And it's all about our thoughts and our thinking. And part of that is our thinking looking back, you know, thinking back to our past and bringing our past into our present. And it's just been a lot on my mind lately about how often we get stuck looking back. We get stuck. Like all of our choices, all of the things that we've done wrong, and that's where we stay in our judgment. That's where we hold on to a lot of fears. A lot of fears is because of things that we've experienced in our past. And so we're looking back thinking that the future is going to be like what has happened in the past. And it's just not true. Like that's not true at all. And it's interesting the way our thinking, it is what creates our suffering. It's what creates our fears and our judgments and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just been something that's been on my mind. And I've been practicing more and recognizing my thinking, that whenever my thoughts, well, there's a difference between thinking and thoughts. And so when my thinking gets into the past, you know, I'm so aware today, and I'm so quick to be able to bring myself back to the present. And it's really important, I think, as we are living and we're wanting to be the best that we can be, and we're all healing, whether we realize it or not. You know, we're all moving in a direction. And if we're making pretty good choices in our lives, I mean, we're doing good.
We're either healing or we're
hurting
ourselves more.
Yeah. Yeah, with the choices that we're making. But I am truly like on wanting to heal my body and my mind and my spirit and my soul. And so part of that is disconnecting myself from my past. It's like we have had great experiences that have taught me a lot. Like I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom from my past experiences, but I don't live there. I don't have to be there. And whenever when my thinking goes back to that and I catch myself, I realize that it's just not necessary. I don't have to look back.
Yeah.
So that's
that when you were talking about that, my thoughts are, when you don't look back and when you're not carrying all that stuff from the past, there's the need to forgive just disappears. The need to judge things, and like you said, you know, once you stop looking back and stop focusing on all like what that person did to me, what happened to me in that situation, what I did then, once you stop looking back and you just live in the moment, the actual need to forgive does not exist. I no longer, because I'm not carrying it within me. Like, I don't have anybody that I need to forgive in my life. I just don't. Now, I need a lot of forgiveness. But that's nothing I have any control over, and nor will I ask anybody for their forgiveness, because it's a gift. It's one of the episodes of The Chosen. You know, I can't ask somebody to forgive me. All I can do is just continue working on myself, being a better person, letting go of the past, letting go of all my manipulative behaviors, my desire to control, the damage I've done. I can say, you know, I'm sorry. And in the last 15 years, I've heard so many people say, sorry doesn't mean anything from you because you've said it so many times. But sorry still does mean something. Just the true, I am sorry for what I did. That I feel like it means something. But for me to say, I'm sorry, will you forgive me? That is not anything to do with me. Forgiveness.
I've never thought of it like that.
Forgiveness is a gift from the person that I've harmed, and it's their choice to give it to me or not. But me asking or me saying I'm sorry is not expecting forgiveness. It has no attachments to it. It has no expectations. The only thing I'm doing is cleaning my side of the street, getting my life right. And if I'm blessed by somebody saying, I forgive you, I mean, how awesome. But that's not the reason to go into me cleaning my side of the street. If that person wants to continue to hold on to that resentment and that anger because I've done so much wrong, well, there's nothing I can do about that. And there's nothing I want to do about that, because that's me trying to control God's plan again. That's me trying to control somebody else. That's whenever manipulation comes in, and I don't only say I'm sorry, but now I'm starting to look for the things I'm sorry for. What did I do? What can I say right so that she will say, I forgive you, or he will say, I forgive you? No expectations in forgiveness. Just forget about the past. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. There's no reason for me to turn and look back and say, what could I have done differently in my life? There's nothing I can do. The only thing I can do is be a better person today and love everybody, and where it's necessary, make amends and tell somebody I'm sorry, and what can I do to make things right. But expecting forgiveness, yeah, that's a whole different, that's where a whole lot of other behaviors come in. That's where my ego wants everybody to be okay with me. Mm-hmm. All that's necessary is that I'm okay with me and that I'm okay with God. So, yeah, that story, the story of that's just a wonderful story.
Yeah. You know, it also makes me think, I hope y'all can hear because it started raining a little hard. In the healing world, in recovering and all that kind of stuff, I know a lot of you may have heard of something called shadow work, where you go into your shadow, you go into like the dark, deep, and not dark bad, but like just into the hidden places, that the places where we've repressed emotions, repressed our memories, you know, we just have shoved everything down. Like that stuff is for real, and it is stuff that is from our past that we tend to carry with us, and it creates behaviors, it creates, you know, issues in our lives. And so there is a time, I believe that there is a time and a season for us to go deep, to go into or allow those things to come up, just to live life and allow it to come up and to be aware of it, and to not go so far into the shadow where you get stuck in the shadow, and that is all that you do, and that is all that you spend your time doing, because I have done that in my own life. I've spent a lot of time in the shadow, looking back and being in the past and bringing up stuff from the past, and I mean, spending weeks and weeks at a time, you know, and probably months at a time, maybe a year, who knows, because time is just weird. But I've spent a lot of time looking back, and I realize that as we're looking back, trying to heal all this stuff, and we're in it, that it keeps us stuck looking at it, and we're not able to enjoy our days, and we're not able to move forward. We get stuck in that shadow. It's like Lot's wife. We become that pillar of salt, just stuck in that shadow, and feeling all the pain, and in it, and you know. And like I said, there is times and there are seasons for us to work on those things, especially if it's keeping us from moving forward. Like, if there are things that are holding you back, that is from your past, that needs to be dealt with. That's why, you know, therapy, having therapy, like, this is mine and Corey. I mean, we go to therapy every week, you know, but just having groups, having places where you can go to talk and to share and to process the past. And because when we voice it, it becomes free. It's like, that's one thing that I've really learned through doing this with Corey, is that, like, stuff from our past that maybe I've never talked about, as soon as I voice it, is gone, and it's like it's present, and I'm not living in the past of it anymore. It's now, and I'm healing, and I'm able to look forward, and I'm able to look forward in a way where my past and stuff is now alchemizing, I guess, in a way, to where I'm able to help other people who have also experienced, you know, things that I've experienced. But it's not turning back and looking back and constantly in it, because that brings up all the heavy emotions that bring us down into depression.
Yeah, shadow work is very interesting, and I hadn't really understood it very well, and when I first started hearing the phrase shadow work, but what I've started recognizing is everything we do in life, there is a shadow. There is, anytime, mostly, so if you're talking about actual shadow work, anytime I make a choice that is destructive, anytime I make a choice in my life that is not healthy for me, I'm creating a shadow. My shadow was there with me whenever I did what I did, and that shadow, whenever I go back to a certain place, whenever I get in my car and smell a certain smell, whenever I do a certain thing, that shadow that was there whenever I was doing something that I should not have been doing, that shadow's still there saying, oh, do that again. I want to feel that again. And that shadow has to learn that this is me. This is what feels good. This is what is good for my body. This is what's good for my spirit. And the shadow will slowly become a light. That shadow will just as a simple example, I mean, there's a certain exit. Every time I took that exit and went down a certain street, I was going to do a certain thing that had nothing good to it. It was complete dark. There is my shadow. Whenever I take that exit, every single time, something comes up and says, go here. because I've done it for so long. I've gone a certain way to get what I wanted. And in life, just in everything, whenever we do things, our shadow is with us. So we have to teach ourselves how to not allow that shadow to actually take control of my body and become the one that's actually driving this machine and take over my spirit, where my spirit my body is being controlled by the past, because I'm looking back. I'm taking a turn down a certain road that always took me to a dark place, and my shadow gets really strong whenever I'm doing that. But the more I go there, and the more that I face those things, the weaker my shadow is, the weaker that the past is, and the brighter that my aura becomes. I don't have these shadows that are lurching over me that are keeping my aura from emulating out.
I've never thought about it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just started hearing about shadow work not too long ago, but that came to me just in the last few days about shadow work. Like we carry just so many shadows just from things that we did that bring up memories, hurts, pains, and it's like we have to work through all of them. Every single pain and every single thing, we have to voice it. We have to let it out. All of it, down to I will never be healthy if I hold on to anything. And I mean, mental health, physical health, whether it's cancer taking over my body or some kind of mental breakdown or whatever. I mean, whatever the disease might manifest itself as, if I don't get rid of all the things from my past, voice them, get it out of me, it's going to grow within me.
And you're going to become that pillar of salt.
Yep.
That is what is happening, is our bodies become like Lot's wife, because we're stuck in it. We're stuck in all of our past stuff. Even if we're not thinking about it, it's there, and it's there. Yeah, it's so incredible to think about. And I love the symbolism that is in salt. And it's like, why did she turn into a pillar of salt? Why? It could have been so many other things, but in the scriptures also it talks about salt being that he wants us to be salt, to be the salt of the earth. That it's the salt that in small amounts it like flavors the whole dish. It's interesting to think about that, and to think about Lot's wife and her experience becoming this big old brick of salt, that's a pillar, and it's useful for nothing. It's
looking back is useful for nothing. No.
Yeah. It's learning to live our day, to be living in our day, and to recognize when we have triggery things happen. Whenever any type of emotional response happens,
when your shadow appears,
that's when that is an opportunity. It's like I have begun to look at all of this as just opportunities that Heavenly Father is showing me something that is within me that's ready to come up and out, and so I can sit in meditation and I can feel the emotions, and I don't even have to go back and remember anything. I don't have to remember events or episodes. I could just feel whatever it is, and if he wants me to remember, he'll bring it to my remembrance, but I don't have to go searching for it. I don't have to be like, okay, well, I'm feeling this, well, why do I feel this way? We can journal, we could do the work, but it's not getting stuck in it. It's not becoming that pillar. It's not becoming so stuck in it to where that's all we're doing. It's we feel it, we recognize it, and we allow it, and we just let it go, and we continue on. And as we do that, we do just get lighter and lighter, and it's like we are the salt of the earth at that point, because we're able to sprinkle it around. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to really ponder on, and to think about the significance of the salt.
Yeah, it's so important to live in the present.
It is.
It is the answer to it all. I mean, it really is. You can go throughout just about every philosophy on earth, and it really comes down to, how am I living right now? What am I doing right now in my life? And to dwell on the past, or you said something like, what's wrong with me today? Why am I feeling this way today? Well, who cares? Feel that way and be happy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we've joked about it before, like, you can't tell a depressed person just to open the windows and get out of bed and be happy, because clinical depression is real. But me, on a depressed day today, I can open the windows and get about my day and go out and do stuff and be depressed and be happy. And it's just a fact. You don't have to be miserably depressed.
Yeah.
You can be productive in other ways. I mean, maybe my depression keeps me from doing what I needed to do one day, but it's given me the opportunity to stop and meditate and pray and focus more on my spirituality, and focus on some things that maybe I've been ignoring. And it's allowed my body, or it's caused me to go into depression. So I got to step back, and do the things necessary to get back today, right now, you know? And it's recognizing the depression, recognizing the mania, recognizing whatever it is that I'm feeling today. You know, today I don't feel really anything. I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm just present. I'm here, and life is good.
It's just peace.
It is peace.
Yeah.
It is serenity. And I am not stressed about tomorrow. I'm not worried about how I'm going to pay my bills. I'm not mad at anybody, or have resentments or anger or anything about anything that's happened to me yesterday or last year or 10 years ago or 35 years ago. It's just, I am here today, and I'm not depressed. I'm not happy. I mean, I'm just at peace. And that's, I mean, what more can a person ask for?
I know, seriously.
'Cause it feels really good, but I'm not manic. You know, I'm just feel good.
This book, seriously, it's like 120 pages, and like everybody needs to read it. It's really truly about the stuff that we talk about, and he just explains it so well about our thinking and our thoughts, and how our thinking is it comes from within us. It's what causes our suffering. It's what causes all of the stuff in us. It's the past, it's the future, it's the conversations, it's our thinking.
The conscious thinking.
And then there are thoughts that are totally different than thinking. And our thoughts are what happens whenever we are able to just come to a place of stillness, you know, with mindfulness, with meditation, with prayer. It's the thoughts that are not our own. And you know it when you experience it. And if you feel like you've never experienced that before, then, man, practice, like, recognize that and understand that there is something, there is a difference. Like, you don't always have to be in your thinking. Thinking creates so much suffering. And our thinking can totally change that. Whenever, like, since I've been reading this book, I've been really practicing it, and it's just, I see my thinking, and I'm like, why am I thinking that? Like, why am I having a conversation in my head with this person that's never gonna happen? Like, it is such a waste of my mental energy. Like, instead of thinking so much about stuff, let me just allow thoughts to come in and flow in, because that's where the creativity comes in. That's where the thoughts come in of, like, just yesterday, I mean, I'm practicing this, and I caught myself. I saw myself thinking a codependent thought, and I caught it. I was like, no, that's me thinking that would be good for my husband. And I stopped, and I brought myself to the present, and I just was enjoying what I was doing. And then a thought came into my mind that was completely not mine, because I was not thinking anything about that. And I was like, that is something that I can say to him. That is, and I just offered, I said, this thought came into my mind that I want to share with you, and I shared the thought, and I didn't explain it. I didn't go into detail about anything. It was just a couple little words, and that was it. And I mean, it's amazing whenever we receive thoughts and can share thoughts, because they're not ours, and we're not attached to them, and there's no emotion to it, and we haven't created something, and our delivery is different whenever it's not our own thinking, and it's just a thought that's coming through us. It's just so incredible. And I love catching myself throughout the day, because I have lived in thinking my whole life. My brain has, I feel like, it has suffered. I've caused myself so much suffering through my thinking, and it's wonderful today that I have that choice, that I know differently, that I don't have to be that way anymore.
Yeah, I haven't read that book yet.
You need to.
But
I don't know.
I want to. But just my own thoughts, what I'm thinking as you're talking about it is, so most of our day, we go throughout our day just like nothing. It's just constant thoughts after thoughts after thoughts after thoughts going on in our brain, and it's a matter of being conscious and being aware of what thoughts are going on up there. Now, the way that I'm living and the things that I'm doing, the things I'm putting in my body, the way that I'm treating other people, and the way that I'm living my life is going to allow me to have positive thoughts, constructive thoughts flow through me and inspire me to do certain things. And my thinking, as I live healthy and I create healthy habits and do healthier things, my conscious thinking is going to become healthier. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be thinking constructive things, and I'm going to be aware of whenever those thoughts, that negative thinking pops up. But the thoughts are just products of the way that we're living. From mm-hmm. what I've just sitting here without having read the book. But if I want good, spiritual, uplifting, help the world, love others, if I want those kind of things to flow through me, those kind of thoughts to pass through me, then I have to live a certain way. And that's where getting a little more control over my actual thinking and saying, no, that's not helping me. I want to think this way. Well, then my thoughts are going to become more productive also. I don't know. Not having read the book or anything, but yeah, the way we live our lives is what creates what goes on in our brain. Mm-hmm. And like I started, it's like 90+% of the day we're really not consciously we're just going about our day, unless it's one of those days where I'm stuck on the past, stuck living in the past, living with resentment, anger, all those things, then you're thinking and but if you're living in the present and you're really not hooked on the past and all that garbage, I believe that our mind is open to receiving thoughts that guide us to make a better world around us.
And they guide our day too. Like, it's so interesting whenever I have these days where I really don't have anything planned, and I give it over to God every day, even if I have plans. But just giving it over, and what do you want me to do? Like, what do I do first? And usually it's take care of myself, like take care of my body. Like it's always what I need to eat something because I need nourishment. Unless I'm fasting, but I'm drinking and eating, and have I exercised today? What can I listen to that's really good? But it's always like these really simple things that comes first, and then I'm like, okay, now what? I'm just always like, whenever we're in His will and we're not in our own thinking and trying to control everything and do everything, then we're able to just allow the thoughts that come in to guide us and move us and direct us. And I have found myself like painting a lot more, over the past week, and it's so enjoyable, and I'm able to just let it flow through me instead of being so like critical and trying to control it all and with my thinking. It's just really neat to be able to surrender, like truly surrender our lives and surrender our minds, surrender like our thought, our thinking, and allow our thoughts to become lined up with God and with what He wants for us. It's a whole different way of living. It truly is. And it's so peaceful. And like you said, like it's not happy or sad or depressed. It just is. And it's just a place of just peace. Like, it's all good. I mean, it's great.
Available for
really
everybody.
It is. It just takes practice. Becoming aware, knowing that there is even something like this. I mean, just you listening to us and hearing something new that maybe you've never even heard before, but it's real, it's true. It's like we're living it, we're doing it.
Yeah, we talked a couple episodes ago about how I was embarrassed about my relapse and how that, and there I was thinking about the past. What are people going to think about me? Why would I be put in front of the whole world under that? But I am just at so much peace with it all. Like, this is not my plan. This is not something that I chose to do. It's something I accepted. It's something that I chose to accept. It's not like something I went out and said, let's put together a studio and get the speakers and get a good backdrop, and and I know there's I don't know about millions, but there's a ton of people that do this, but if, like we've said from the beginning, we just want to reach somebody, and it's not, I see this going somewhere where we're not sitting around talking about addiction all the time, because it's not controlling our lives anymore. It's not it's not a daily obsession. It's not, the obsession has been lifted. That constant just thought of, I need, it's no longer there. And so I'm kind of grateful that, people can find us and watch one of our videos and then go back and say, oh my gosh, what was going on with Corey Unleashed on that day? Or Kelly, I mean, whatever, it's, but yeah, you get to see us in all of our phases. And a lot of it has to do with us getting caught in the past. I mean, we've been on here stuck in the past. We've been on here with anger and just all the stuff in life. But it's been a while since I've actually had that heavy feeling of, oh, somebody did me so much wrong, because all that is the past and the ego. Nobody's done anything to me.
And people, and also it's people living from their own pain and their own hurt and doing things that's just, you know, it's like whenever you get to a place where you recognize that people do things because they're hurt and in pain, and it's you don't have to take anything personally.
It's not about me.
It's more about, it's like I have compassion for people that are triggered and are just angry and hurting other people. It's, you know, I don't have judgment towards it today. It's like I have compassion.
Yeah. And when I said I don't have the need to forgive anybody, well, I don't know if that's said right, but I see that as like me living in the past. Like nothing has been done to me. Nobody has wronged me. Nobody has done anything to hurt me. Now, people have done things to hurt themselves, and I happen to be a part of that, but it wasn't done to me. I don't take any of it personally. I am not living in the past. I'm not taking credit for any of it. I'm not taking blame for any of it. I'm living today. And I love everybody. I just, you know, and like I said also, if I have had remorse for the things that I've done wrong, but I really don't today. I don't, because there I would be living in the past again. I have to let go of that. Otherwise, I'm just living in the past. You can only, if you're sorry about something, if you genuinely feel remorse for something, I don't like the word sorry, because there are no sorry people. But if you really have remorse for something, you only need to do it once. You don't have to do it every day, because that is manipulation. That's whenever you're trying to get them to forgive you. That's when I'm trying to get somebody to forgive me by saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I did this, I did that, please forgive. No.
Yeah, it becomes all about you.
Yeah, just I felt remorse. I vocalized that I did something, I harmed somebody, and it's over. Now, the process of the other person healing and forgiving, whether it ever happens or not, has nothing to do with me. But I never have to go back there. I never have to go through that remorse again, because that's just living in the past. You only got to go to the past one time in healing. It is necessary. It's necessary to go through it all from the beginning. But you don't have to do it twice. If you want to, because it's healing, well then do it. But you don't ever have to go back. If you truly, sincerely feel remorse and change your ways, you don't have to go back. You don't have to turn around and be this big pillar of salt that's just got no purpose. Just live in the present. And it's peaceful.
Just forgive ourselves. Forgive our past selves.
Yeah.
Because we can't go back. We can't do anything different. We can't. All we are is right now. We are right now. And just have compassion for all the stuff that you did up until now. Like, you're not doing it now. So love yourself, forgive yourself, and just continue to move forward.
And
now.
Even that is kind of, that could be a whole topic of forgiving yourself, because who am I really forgiving? Like, I'm forgiving somebody that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
That's going back into the past again.
Yeah.
I do understand that I have to change my behaviors and I have to live a certain way, but how many times do I have to forgive myself? Because I don't have to forgive myself
Only
today.
Once. Right, I'm good. Like,
yeah. There might be something that comes up today where I'm prideful or
and that's having compassion with yourself.
Yes. And today, how do I need to forgive myself today for who I am today? What do I need to do with me today? But me sitting around and forgiving myself for all the wrongs I've done, I'm in the past again. Get out of that. That person does not exist. Molecular, down to my entire body, except for maybe some calcium in my teeth and some marrow in my bones, my entire being is not the person that was sitting here a month ago. So I don't need to do anything with that person. The only person that I need to forgive is the person sitting here with me right now. If I have some egotistical moment or some prideful moment or some moment where I actually feel a resentment, I need to forgive me right now. I don't need to forgive that person that doesn't even exist. Yeah, you can go on to that for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's all about love. How many times can we say it? I just love everybody.
It really is.
I love everybody. Nobody has done me any harm. Nobody has done anything to me. A lot of people have hurt themselves in ways that I might catch the blame or whatever, but nothing's been done to me. I feel peace.
I do too. It's such a great way to be. And we can all feel that way.
Yeah.
So.
If I'm mad tomorrow, well, I need to work on myself.
Exactly. We'll see how we are when we show up next time.
That person doesn't exist. The only person that exists is right here with you today. If you listened, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We love y'all.
Y'all have a good day.